This program is brought to you by the Media Liberty Alliance Foundation in cooperation with OBBM Network TV, bringing citizen-led, creative local media to the forefront of local communities to foster a greater understanding of constitutional liberty and appreciation of what makes us truly free, starting with you and me.
Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. That way you're updated each time fresh content comes out. And thank you for being part of the Zach Ratliff Show.
The Zach Ratliff Show is brought to you by Mortgage Financial in Texarkana, Exceed Health Clinic on Mall Drive in Texarkana, Elmwood Custom Goods, and Church on the Rock, Texarkana. That's churchontherock.org.
Hello and welcome to the Zach Ratliff Show. I'm Zach. I'm glad to be with you. Glad you're with me. It's a beautiful day outside and thank God for it. I hope you all had a good Easter, as I did. I've got Breanne Bradshaw and John Chris with me. Hello, y'all. How are you?
Hey, Zach. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well.
Yeah, thank y'all for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, yeah. Well, before the show started, John and I did the customary Native American exchange of gifts. So he came bearing all kinds of goodies for me, and then he in exchange got the mug. So officially we're friends now.
Well, that's the way we've kind of grown into trading, it seems like, and it just establishes goodwill.
Yeah.
And being in the relationship business and selling,
Yeah.
we build rapport, and then we teach rapport building.
Yeah.
But the fun part is for it to be genuine.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
genuinely enjoy your company and been
No,
looking
yeah.
forward to today. So
No, yeah. I've enjoyed being around you and your wife and all the things. And so, yeah, we've got a good relationship going, I believe. All right, Breanne, you didn't bring a gift, but no.
I was about to say, where's my mug?
Yeah, no, I was going to get to no, but your presence is our gift, so we'll take that. So,
oh, hold on. Zach doesn't drink coffee, so he's just giving me that because he has no need for it. So
that's
absolutely
true.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach doesn't drink coffee. But he kind of threw me off. Anyway, so
He'll do that.
we've got two different things that we're going to talk about. You're going to talk about Ledwell's tie into Tunnel to Towers, John, and then we're going to talk about the Texarkana Children's Advocacy Center. Oh, you're right, Advocacy Center.
It's a mouthful.
it is the hardest word to say.
Yeah, and then CASA and what you guys are doing there. So I guess kind of let us know what your role is there, and we'll start there and just bat this thing around.
Yeah, sure. So officially my title is Chief Advancement Officer.
Okay.
So I am over all of the fundraising, all of the community education that we provide, and also volunteer recruitment as well.
Right. Okay. So what does fundraising for the Advocacy Center look like? What are we funding? What is advocacy for a child? I mean, let's act like I don't know what we're talking about because I don't really know what we're talking about.
That's actually really fair. I guess
It
that's
really
such a good
is.
question.
It really is. Yeah. So CASA and the Texarkana Children's Advocacy Center, we like to say that we're two programs with the same mission.
Okay. So what is CASA? That's an acronym for
CASA is Court Appointed Special Advocate
which is for children.
for children. Yes.
Okay.
And you
So
speak a little Spanish, I hope. So it's also house in Spanish, right?
right,
So,
exactly.
You're
So
right.
that
You can
makes
adjust that
it
a
even
little
more
bit if you need to.
confusing, for sure. Yeah. So on the CASA side of things, we advocate for children who are in the foster care system.
Yeah.
So we recruit and train and empower volunteers to get to know a child in the foster care system, get to know everyone basically that's involved in that child's case and their life.
Right.
And they're actually able to speak up in court for
Right.
whatever they feel is the child's best interest.
Okay.
So on the Children's Advocacy Center side of things, we get involved basically right after a report of child abuse or neglect is made.
Mm-hmm.
So we work with our multidisciplinary team in law enforcement, child protective services to provide forensic services
Right.
for their investigations, such as forensic interviews and medical exams. And then we also provide free services to that family, advocacy, really resources, referrals, anything that child may need,
Right.
as well as therapy
Okay.
for them and their family.
Okay. Well, all of that seems like it would be important in these situations.
It is. Absolutely. Yeah. So we are a nonprofit. So
Okay.
we are funded by some grants and things like that. In recent years, grants have not been quite as reliable as they have been in the past.
Right.
And so we're having to do more fundraising
Y'all big
in order
fans
to
of
provide those
Elon
services.
Musk and Doge?
Do what?
Y'all big fans of Elon Musk and the Doge effort?
I wouldn't call myself a fan, no, but as an organization,
Right. Well, and I tend to agree with a lot of what Doge has done. However, if we didn't have quote unquote daycares around the country stealing billions of dollars and fraud and all these other organizations, then we would have money to fund things that actually matter instead of people just getting rich off the taxpayer dime. So I can agree that, yeah, when you start doing this, it cuts on organizations that need it to feed fraudsters. Man, it's infuriating. And I'm sure when you guys see that, $100 million has been stolen through fake daycares in Minnesota, and then you're like, but we're getting cut? How aggravating. And I'm not trying to drag you into the political side of it, but yeah, I see why you wouldn't like it, because well, go get them. Go get my money from there where it's being stolen so that we can help children.
Yeah, absolutely. The work we do is so important. The children and families that we serve, they never see a bill
Right.
or anything like that, because the last thing that they should have to worry about as they're going through this investigation and finding out that their children, possibly have been abused, is to have to worry about financial
Yeah.
things like that.
I mean, that would be, so I guess walk us through, like I said, because I don't know enough to know what I don't know. How do you get a child? How are you assigned to them? What's that look like? And then just kind of what's the process? Why do they need you? And I know you kind of touched on it a little bit, but then all the way through the whole, whatever it is. Can you walk me through that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, again, we work with law enforcement and child protective services. So a family can't just call us and say, hey, I need to get my child in. The forensic interview has to be scheduled by an investigator.
So a forensic interview for?
A forensic interview is basically an interaction with a child and a trained forensic interviewer in response to allegations of abuse or neglect. So basically, it's getting the child's story in their words without manipulating them or leading them to say a certain thing.
Right.
It's very neutral interaction. And the point is just to get the story, the child's story or experience in their own words.
So is this any kind of abuse, emotional, physical?
Yeah, so mostly we see for sexual abuse and severe physical abuse.
Okay.
Those are the main types of abuse that we see.
And it's, it's a sick world most of us don't want to think about, but there's people out there that have to think about it in order to help people's lives and children's lives, and then to go get these people that, the best word I could come up with was people, because I had a whole lot of adjectives and it just didn't work. But
I kind of wanted to hear that. Actually.
Just say it.
to go get these folks that commit these crimes, right?
Absolutely.
So you kind of have to look past that to see the good that's going to come from it, I'm guessing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it also is good to see that healing process. Again, we see them for therapy and things like that to kind of deal with that trauma that they've experienced. And so that's always very rewarding. We also sometimes get to see that justice. Our forensic interviewers testify in court and kind of educate the jury on abuse dynamics, grooming, those types of things that just the layperson really doesn't understand.
Okay.
Because, it is a really taboo subject, and we tend to kind of clamp up and not want to think about it or talk about it. But unfortunately, that is really hurting prevention in the long run, because in order to prevent child abuse, we have to work together as a community. We have to learn what to look out for. We have to teach our kids body safety and different things like that. So it's so important that we talk about it for sure.
I'm a girl dad. I've got a 10-year-old girl, and I'm real weird about where she goes and who she's around.
Good.
I mean,
That's not weird. That's responsible.
Yes.
yeah, and her mom's the same way. We're very much on the same page of, we're going to know exactly who you're with, exactly where you're going, even who's around in our sphere in public. I mean,
For sure.
I'm just ultra protective. So it breaks my heart to find out that some people aren't.
Yeah.
Well, if
absolutely.
I could real quick, Zach,
Go, yeah,
that
do what
she
you gotta
is
do.
the arrow in your quiver, right?
Yeah, that's right.
She is your heritage, and she is a reward from the Lord.
Yeah,
Now,
absolutely.
you are obligated as her father to steward that gift, aren't you?
That's exactly right.
Now, it sounds like that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
So this is doing that on a larger scale.
Right.
These are children that have been hurt.
Yeah.
And so if we can do terminology, they make an outcry. Right?
Yeah.
And so what Breanne perhaps is too humble to say is the way that the Advocacy Center runs means they can give this outcry, and typically it's recorded, I think, and they can give it once. And so
Instead of having to say it over and over and relive it over and over.
essentially re-traumatizing for the child to have to explain it more than one time.
That's where I was. Yeah, because that would be a lot. Even, we have hurts as adults that we don't want to talk about over and over, much less as a young mind that doesn't want to process it at all, or doesn't realize that they are processing it, is my guess sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. And most of the time it is the first time that they've told it in such detail. And so
Yeah.
like John said, the point is really to reduce that trauma and reduce the amount of times that they have to talk about it in detail.
Right. Golly. So when it gets reported, I guess, to law enforcement, then it gets sent to you all. How many cases do you see a month?
Oh, a month. It really depends. I would say that we have probably at least 2 or 3 kids a day coming through for a forensic interview. Sometimes it's more like 6 or 7.
That just breaks my
So
heart.
yeah, I would say we see at least 50 to 60 kids for forensic interviews.
Right.
So if you haven't been, when you actually appear at their location there, the space is very intentional
Yeah.
to be as calming and to be kind of as neutral and a place where the child is going to feel as safe as possible.
Yeah.
These are obviously children. They're going to have issues feeling safe around adults they don't know.
Oh, I would guess so. Yes.
So everything is curated so that child feels safe and then can give an honest description of whatever they had to endure that was inflicted upon them by
Right.
the adult that you were about to name in some strong language.
Yeah.
And then the healing process in my mind begins there.
Right.
Now, sometimes that healing means we've got to get some justice from the court system.
And go get it,
But you, I'm sure, follow enough news and you see that, at least in Bowie County, we got no tolerance for this.
Right.
None whatsoever. And so you're probably familiar with some of the lengths and sizes of some of these sentences that gets handed down for crimes of this nature.
Right.
And that is in large part that this collaborative effort that Breanne's described between law enforcement, working with the Advocacy Center and the professionals there, those training standards being upheld on every single case, and then the DA's office like kind of coordinating that so it's a seamless presentation to the citizens to decide, hey, is this behavior acceptable in this county?
Right. Well, I know it's in Ezekiel. I quote it all the time on here. I believe it's Ezekiel 36, where it says, hey, the watcher on the wall, if you don't say something and there's blood that comes from somebody that you're supposed to be protecting, then the blood will be required from you. We are the watchers on the wall.
Yes.
We are the ones calling it out. You are the one going to get the information so that justice can be enacted. And so this is just all part of the watcher on the wall. This is, as Christ-fearing Americans, we're supposed to protect our young people.
That's right.
We're not just each other, but man, the kids are precious. We should do everything we can to protect them. So yeah, so like with the Doge cuts things, yeah, that's infuriating that, we got these other people scamming it when you're actually doing good, trying to make things better, and then trying to go get justice, or making it so that someone can go get justice as much as it can be gotten for these children. So with your budget cuts that you've had, which are substantial, is my understanding.
Yes.
What does your fundraising look like?
Yeah, so we do 2 major fundraisers a year. One is actually coming up in a couple of weeks. It's a new fundraiser that we've never done before called Over the Edge.
Okay.
So basically, it's
Sounds terrifying.
Well, yes, it's very. We like to say exciting and adventurous.
Those
where
words
we
are doing a lot of work. Right there. Those words
Yeah.
are doing a lot of lifting.
Yeah.
And Ledwell, we say
Absolutely.
we have opportunities.
Yeah, that's right.
Boy, do we ever.
we have hired a team of professionals. The Over the Edge team is amazing. They are all repellers themselves, been doing it for years and years. And so we've got a safety team. They use all of their equipment, all of that good stuff. But basically, participants sign up, they raise $1,000. And then on April 18th, they're able to rappel down
That's
a
a
downtown
Saturday.
building. Yes, Saturday, April 18th.
The Zach Ratliff Show is brought to you by Mortgage Financial in Texarkana, Exceed Health Clinic on Mall Drive in Texarkana, Elmwood Custom Goods, and Church on the Rock, Texarkana. That's churchontherock.org.
We're
Breanne.
down at 300 Olive.
That's
it was
right.
the old Regions
Yeah.
Bank
Yeah, I know
downtown
exactly
for
where
those
you
who
are.
are from Texarkana. So we're super excited about that. We also get a lot of funds from sponsorships as well. Ledwell is actually our Stand in the Gap champion for this year, and so we're super grateful to them. They have consistently supported our mission since I've been with the Advocacy Center, and that's been over a decade.
You know, John, let me say, I'm sure you hear this all the time, and if you don't, it's because people aren't paying attention. You know, I've never met the Ledwell family, and but hold them in the highest regard because of all that they do. And a lot of it you never really hear publicly. You just know because somebody tells you in the background. But the Ledwell family touches this town and this area in ways that people listening don't even understand, in ways that I probably don't even understand. And I know a whole lot of people, but I just get to hear about all of it. And every time I hear, it's like, well, yeah, Ledwell supported this, but
Yes.
they didn't really want to be mentioned on this one, or Ledwell did this, and but you know, don't make a big deal out of it. So I'm not really trying to make a big deal out of it, but man, Ledwell is the glue that keeps this community together a lot of times.
We're very blessed. Thank you
Yeah.
for saying those words. And I agree. The Ledwell family is very generous, and they're very committed to this being the kind of place that we're proud to call home.
Right.
To be in the kind of community where if your kids go off to college, they can't wait to get trained and then come back and then raise their own families here.
Right.
And so the causes that the company and the family will support will be the kinds of things that make this a better place, and a place that we're proud of, and a place that generations will want to call home.
Right. Wow. And it's never about the person at the top of Ledwell or the family at the top. You don't hear their name. You just hear Ledwell, and then they're not out there waving a flag and making it all about me. They're about, let's be about this organization. Let's be about this organization. So, I just think that's awesome. I mean, I'm glad that it's for an organization like you in this case, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're very lucky.
Well, so if somebody wants to do this Over the Edge event, how do they do that?
Yeah. So they can visit CASAcac.org /events to go to our fundraising page, and they can sign up themselves, or they can donate to some of our participants who are already signed up to help them reach their goals so that they can go over the edge.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. So hopefully we can get some. And then will this just be general fundraising just to keep the doors open? Where's this going?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, only a portion of our annual budget comes from grants and things like that. So we have to fundraise the rest in order to, like you said, keep our doors open and continue to provide these services for children and families free of charge.
Right. Okay.
The fun part from my experience of working with CASA and the Advocacy Center is the generosity of a lot of our community partners and our friends. So the first dear friend of mine that really got on board with understanding both the gravity of the trauma that the children have experienced, but then also the work of the organization to bring hope, healing, and justice into those kind of situations was a buddy of mine from here named Blake Rich.
Yeah,
His
I like
company
Blake.
Heritage Hospice.
Yeah.
And Blake is just committed to supporting the men and women of CASA and at the Advocacy Center, and making sure that what they do to bring healing to these children can be done as much as it needs to be done to help these kids.
Blake's a good guy. He used to have a gym over there on Texas Boulevard, EFIT, and I'd be in there working out with him this was 2012 or something like that. And
Right.
man, we'd just be in there getting it and got to know him. And,
Absolutely.
and then we have many mutual friends. Of course, you know, there's only 100,000 of us around here. You can say, I always tell everybody, I'm like, I probably know everybody you know. And just
Yeah.
because that's the way it works here.
Well,
And
I
so-
missed you, I guess, because I worked there pretty early as far as I would typically go there and work out around 6 a.m. So
Oh, okay.
were you rolling in a little later then? Or?
I was usually the guy throwing up in the graveyard about 5:30 from him making me running around
Oh,
it. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, I was there, and my dad was there, and we were getting with it for sure. So you know exactly where I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, those cemetery runs were difficult and sometimes spooky. So
yeah, hated them.
Yeah.
And also then you'd run down to that stop sign down at the Oh, I know. Yeah, I was there, baby.
but Blake is also really fast over a short distance. So if you want to run against Blake, the key was to run against him long.
Right. There you go. All right. So what else does the Texarkana Children's Advocacy Center? Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
Much better.
You did it.
Much better. Yeah.
What else do you guys have going on that we may need to know about and that's coming? And just for people that maybe want to be involved, or you know, is there some way somebody can help? You know, funds are always good, but is there anything else?
Yeah, absolutely. Follow us on social media. We post pretty much everything we're doing, all of our community events and trainings and things like that. Our main fundraiser, though, is in September. It's going to be Tacos and Tunes Trace.
Yeah.
Can you
that
tell
one
me the
is
dates?
yeah. Can I?
Yeah,
John, is it September the 20th
Sunday,
and the
the
21st?
concert will be Sunday, September 20th.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we
And
always
the
do a
golf
golf
tournament?
tournament the following day. So it's Monday, September 21st at
Yes.
Northridge Country Club.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great time. We will announce our artist soon. That's kind of the next step in that process, but definitely save the date for that. It's a really fun time.
Everybody that we're talking to gets me very excited. Should that
Should they
person
agree?
or group end up being the headline entertainer this year? The last couple have been really strong. So 3 years ago, Stoney LaRue
Yeah.
was the last year that we were inside. We decided to move it just permanently outside, regardless, like rain or shine.
Northridge does a good job with stuff
For
outside.
sure. And so that was Cody, Canada, right before they got back together and reconstituted Cross Canadian Ragweed.
Right.
And then last year, recency bias noted, but Jason Boland and the Stragglers were unbelievable. And since his band's name is the Stragglers and it's country music, their tour bus broke down
Yeah,
right
perfect.
before the show. So they were late. So they straggled in. But once they got there, they played a brilliant show.
Yeah.
you
Thank
know.
goodness for Neely's towing.
That's exactly right. No, my buddy Jason Neely is primarily responsible for putting all that together for us. And then in that case, he literally had to go tow them in so that they could come and perform for us.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It all worked out though, didn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, and so when we get closer to that, I might have you back on, and we can talk about that more.
Yeah,
But I mean, I know
absolutely.
that is y'all's main fundraiser, and a good time.
It's really, though we tag it that way intentionally. It's a good time for a great cause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
that's
Yeah.
exactly right.
And last year we made over $160,000.
Which, yeah, so that's the fun part. That event was going somewhere around $40,000-$50,000 typically, and we were able to grow it. I think $185,000 was the biggest one, and I told him this year, let's just go for $250,000. Why not?
Yeah.
Like, let's
Just go big.
yeah, let's go big. It's the 250th anniversary of this beloved country of ours. And
Right.
we ought to be going a little bit harder this year. So
Yeah. There we go.
Love it.
Okay, so let's do that. Now let's kind of transition to Tunnels to Towers. And you guys, I mean, that's a nationwide organization.
they're incredible.
And
Absolutely
and
incredible.
here Ledwell is once again involved with this, which I mean, I don't even know how this happens. So go ahead and open this up for us, John.
This is the 25th anniversary of the horrific atrocity of September 11th, right? And so the recovery effort took a long time. Essentially, the debris field, when the towers came down, enveloped all of lower Manhattan.
Right.
And it was years of taking everything apart, getting all the concrete and the beams and everything pulled out of there. This is after the rescue and recovery efforts were over.
Right.
So the Port Authority of New York, New Jersey is responsible for the actual property and then what happened with the pieces of the towers, essentially. So they've given them away lots to, I'd say every military installation of the United States all over the world is going to have something from the site. All of our aircraft carriers, all the battleships,
Right.
a lot of museums and high schools. The Port Authority of New York, New Jersey gave 2 beams to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation as a recognition of the incredible work that foundation does for wounded warriors,
Right.
for here domestically, for first responders and police officers that are injured or killed in the line of duty. And those are the very people that the foundation is very quick and eager and able to help out.
Right.
And so they build them smart homes. They pay off mortgages when an officer or a military member is killed in the line of duty. And they do not believe in homeless veterans. They just don't think that should be a thing.
Right.
So they're building multiple complexes to house homeless veterans and then rehabilitate them and give them a set of skills that they can flourish again.
Right.
So since they were given these 2 beams, sometime last year, the foundation reached out to us and asked if we could help them design essentially a rolling display type truck. And we came up with a concept that made sense. And we were able to put that truck together and then mount that actual beam on some fabricated supports that we put together. And it's going to go on a tour all around the country so that people can see this is an actual beam from the Twin Towers, believed to have come from the South Tower, and essentially like a rolling museum that's going to tour the country starting May the 2nd from Ground Zero, and it's going to go to roughly 40 locations around the country, and then it'll complete its journey on September 11th at the entrance to the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel.
Wow. And to even have Texarkana and Ledwell associated with that, I mean that's cool. That's a big deal. And I think once again this just goes back to the heart of what I was saying about Ledwell just being involved in so much, just from a giving heart. And you guys, just I thank you for your hearts to give and to want to come talk about what all we've got going. You know, it's amazing to see when a community can come together, especially for children and especially for what Tunnel to Towers does. And I mean, it feels just like just a whole lot of big things, but it just takes people that care, people that want to give, people that want to help, people that want to see a difference in the world, just working together, right?
Absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely. It was a real honor for Ledwell to have any involvement whatsoever with a project of that much. I'd say something of that significance that matters. You know, 25th anniversary, and to really shine a light on not just what happened to us on that horrible day, but all the good that we've done to help each other out since then.
Oh, and you know, it's easy in a world that's driven on negativity. It's easy to be negative about what's going on. But golly, just to have positivity and the positivity. And I know some of y'all's volunteers over there and all that. And just to have people that want to pour into children and have people that want to pour in, or to have an organization like Ledwell that honestly doesn't have to do anything that they do. And can make it and be fine and never have a worry, but to have a heart for just citizens and people, golly, it just, you know, our great hope is Jesus Christ, but it gives you hope that there are good people in this world, and sometimes they're muted by all the negativity around us. We just have to ignore that sometimes. We just have to say, okay, that is what it is, but we can go and we can make a difference.
For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. There is always take a lot of encouragement from a controversial guy that's a little bit of a hero of mine. But
Perfect.
You'll love this. So we all kind of go through seasons, and particularly think about the children that CASA serves. You go through seasons of difficulty and stress, and just times when you feel kind of at your lowest, right? And it's common, and we all go through these seasons. So Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says, when you feel that way, the best thing that you can do, the most proven and reliable way to help yourself out of feeling down or sad or disconsolate is to do something to help someone else.
No, that jives with what I know to be true.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, all right, guys, let's get in here. Do you have any last words? Anything that we need to hold on to?
No, just make sure you, like I said, visit our website, casacac.org, to learn more about our organizations and how you can get involved.
Okay, John?
I do. So that truck is going to be here in Texarkana, one of the 40 stops. And so the truck and the beam and a rolling exhibit, I think a 50-foot trailer that opens up into a mobile exhibit, will be here in Texarkana on June the 3rd. We're going to put it in front of the downtown post office and federal building. We'll have firemen from Texarkana, Arkansas, and Texarkana, Texas side fire departments with some ladder trucks and a big flag.
Cool.
And we're going to grill and provide lunch for, I think, up to 10,000 people.
Wow.
So let's just take the foundation up on their offer and see how many people we can get to come and learn about this significant piece of our history.
Well, let's do that, and then maybe as it gets going, I'll get you to come back to talk about it. You know, we're downloaded in over 40 states now, and I think 13 or 15 countries last time I looked. So this people that are hearing this that aren't like, oh, listen, we're not around Texarkana. Yeah, but this truck's going to come by you.
Absolutely.
Somewhere that you are out there, and being a national show, I still like to talk about home every now and then.
Sure.
I still like to talk about the things that go here.
Sure.
So
to your credit, to your great credit,
Oh,
we love this podcast. We love the fact that you shine a light on people that not only make decisions about policies, but also people that just love our community and want to do good things for our citizens.
Well, any credit that gets shined on is from God, and I just try to do my part, man, and hope I don't screw it up. Well, all right, everybody, we're going to get out of here. Thank both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope God blesses each and every one of you today.